And another thing that might be interesting for you is and also useful is how to convert the old fluorescent lamp to nowadays standard LED light. All right, so this is actually a very old lamp that I found while cleaning the basement, and I can tell that it's over 30 years or maybe 35 years old because I actually never seen this type of tube, which is a little larger than the ordinary one. So this one is the standard 18 watts fluorescent lamp, and this is something older, so I'm guessing that's what people used back in the day. But yeah, we first had to fix it in order to see if everything is functional. And yeah, when stuff is standing for 35 years somewhere thrown away, things usually tend to wear off. So yeah, I had to remove the old cable over here because it was losing contact somewhere along the line, but and I tried to cut it a few times, but I just decided to get rid of it because it wasn't working. So I had to put another cable in, and also there was a capacitor over here which blew instantly when I plug it in the electricity. But the good thing about it is it's not really important. It's not even important for these old fluorescent tubes, and especially none of these things that are right now installed inside the lamp aren't gonna be used for when we convert it with for the use of LED lights. So LED, yeah. Um, and actually we're gonna just see one more time if everything is working, and then we're gonna have to remove everything we don't need from the lamp. And actually there are four scenarios which can happen if you try to convert the old lamp. So definitely you got it somewhere in the barns or garages or something like that, so you don't really have to buy a new one which is already uh, pre-made for the LED. You can use the old ones, but also you have to know what you're doing because as I've said, there's four scenarios because there's two types of tubes, and one type is that it's gonna be connected from both sides, left and right, and that's one version. And another version is just connected to the one side. Both live and neutral wire go to the left side or the right side, and the other side is unused. So and the other thing that we have to check is how are these contacts, or popularly called tombstones, how are they connected. So there are also two types of tombstones, and those are shunted and unshunted. So how do we know if the tombstone is shunted or unshunted? Well, simply in this case over here we have two wires, so that means that the two contacts that are for these two contacts over here on the tube itself, the two contacts are, if it's shunted, if the tombstone is shunted, that means that the on the side of the tombstone the contacts are connected together. So if they are unshunted, each contact has its separate input for a wire or a line. electric lines. So yeah, we gotta know the difference between these two. So there are two wires over here. That means that both contacts are connected with one wire, so that means that they are separate. So these here are non-shunted. So actually we have 4 scenarios, and I written them down because I don't want to forget something. So the first scenario over here is if you bought a double-sided lamp. That means that it has to one side is alive and one neutral, so it connects from both sides. That means that and if it goes to a shunted tombstone, so if it connects from both sides and it goes to shunted tombstone that has 2 contacts connected together, then you just have to connect the live wire to a 1 contact of the tombstone over here, let's say this one, and the neutral wire on the 1 contact on the other tombstone, and you're good. No problem there, because this connection over here, let me just put it on that. This connection over here is already inside the tombstone. So all you need to do, if the tube is double-sided, is connect the live wire to 1 contact on the tombstone and the neutral to other on the other side, and you're good. Nothing too special there. So how do we apply this scenario to this to our lamp? Well, we should be connecting the 2 wires over here together, and connect also live, and on the other side neutral, and we are good. So scenario that we have here would be so it's a double-sided tube and non-shunted tombstone. That's exactly what we have over here. So actually we have 2 contacts which are separate. They are not connected like in this scenario, and what we have to do is connect it with wire over here, and the easiest way to do that is to just cut the wires over here, connect them together, and also connect the live and neutral to both sides. So there's gonna be 3 wires connected together. So that's exactly what we have to do in this scenario over here with this lamp. Okay, so not much trouble there as well, but there are 2 more scenarios. If we have so the next scenario is if we can have a single-sided tube which is going to the shunted tombstones. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit more complicated because the tube connects only to one side. So let's say these live and neutral have to be connected to each to 1 contact of the tube, and the other side is pretty much unused. But if we have shunted tombstones, so that would mean that they are, if this is a tombstone, they are already pre-connected over here. So that's not gonna work with the single-sided tube. So this is a bit tricky scenario because over here where we have to connect the live and neutral, where we have to connect the input, electricity input, if we use the shunted tombstone over here, we're gonna short circuit something over here, and it's not gonna be good. So either there are 2 solutions to that. Either we replace this tombstone with the unshunted one, or we somehow try to open, and we have to separate the shunts over here, and that is important for the left one, and the right one could stay as it is, can stay like that because it's unused. So you don't have to tamper with this one, but you can tamper with this one. So you have to somehow separate or cut the wire, or however it's those contacts inside are connected. So you have to separate the shunts, and even better thing would be to get one tombstone that is unshunted for this left side. So this is a kind of tricky scenario if you have to deal with that. So if it's not something that you're doing like on a regular basis or doing for a living, electricity for a living, I wouldn't suggest that you tamper with that. So this scenario can be solved, but it is to be avoided. But of course, there's also solution for every problem. So yeah, I'm just giving you a heads up, but it's best if you have someone, especially if you haven't done this before, especially in those cases if you're not too sure about what to do, and then it's best to keep this scenario to an electrician or someone that usually does this more often, experienced converter to LEDs or stuff like that. So this one is to be avoided, but of course if you're wanna deal with that, especially if you happen to have this scenario, you can solve it as well. So, and the fourth one is the single-sided lamp, goes to the non-shunted tombstone, and that is a pretty easy story over there, because the right one stays unused, so you don't have to worry about that. And if the tombstone is unshunted over here, just have to connect each contact with live and neutral, just only on one side, and you're pretty much done. So that's a pretty simple stuff. So the best scenarios are the first one. If you have a double-sided, then you should use shunted. That's the easiest way to do it. And if you have single-sided, the easiest way to do it is to connect it to the non-shunted. And also you can solve these two situations as well. But yeah, if you're not doing that often, or you're doing something first time, then maybe it's best to consult with someone who knows more about it. Yeah. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna have to do is to remove the stuff we are not gonna be needing no more. And let's just check if everything is working. Should be working, because we were tampering with it a bit. So yeah, as you can see, this tube is like 35 years old. You can see by its size, it's wider than it actually. That's the first time I've seen the white tube. Yeah, so what we need for the use of LEDs inside over here, nothing much. It's just a matter of how do you connect the wires actually. So we won't be needing the ballast. So if you have an magnetic ballast or electronic ballast, of course you're gonna have to remove it, and it's pretty heavy, so it's gonna make mounting of the bottom part more easier for you, especially if you mount it on the somewhere on the below the ceiling. And we won't be needing these starters no more. So actually all the stuff I already pull out some stuff before, but all the stuff that are not tombstones or the wires have to go out. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna remove the power cable just to make things more simpler. So of course you don't do this if the cable is plugged. Be sure to unplug everything, because you don't do anything under live current. All right, so let's see. Maybe the first thing we should get rid of is the ballast over here. So let me just see if the wires are gonna come out, which I'm not so sure, but maybe we will need some length somewhere. So I guess not. Yep, it's not gonna budge, so I think we should be yeah, I'm just gonna cut it off. I don't really want to lose too much time on the disassembly. All right, so we got one screw over here, and yeah, so it's heavy. All right, so what else? So this is gonna be our input over here. Okay, so let's see how these things are removed. Should be fairly simple to remove, but yeah, you can unscrew the starters, so they are good. Yeah, so that's one side. Okay. All right, so let's see, how is this gonna go? We must cut this as well. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep the wires as long as possible, because I think I might get in trouble over here with connecting, but yeah, that's still enough wire to make the connection. Okay, so those are connected together over here. Yeah, actually, these are connected together but non-shunted, so yeah. I'm thinking we should cut it over here and over here, so maybe I should have cut it a bit further, but yeah, that's what you need to connect together. And you need to connect these 4 contacts over here for the tombstones, and this is the input that goes on one side. So the same thing you have to do on the other side. So let's just see how we're gonna do that. We could pull this out, so yeah, you can see if there's gonna be need for a wire, we can use this one. All right, so what else? That's the wire from the left side. Okay. And we're gonna have to somehow connect these two. So I'm gonna be smarter this time and cut a bit further. Okay, so these 4 wires have to be connected together, and let's just move this off, and this is gonna be the input, so live or neutral for the other side. So yeah, 4 contacts on the tombstone together with 1 input wire, and 4 contacts on the other side of tombstones. So this one is kind of off. Alright, so 4 contacts on the other side together with another input wire over here. So, and the other side is for the input cable that goes to the electricity. Alright, so I removed all of the unnecessary stuff, and one thing we can leave in is this connector, because that's gonna be still our input for the power cable. Over here we can remove these as well. Alright, okay, so I've already moved the insulation over here on this side because it's a bit shorter, and we're gonna do the same over here, maybe a little longer, like this. Alright, so we have to do the same on this side. Alright, so okay, we also have these 2 cables that are gonna go, one for each side. We're gonna remove the insulation there as well. Okay, so let's see. So this is gonna go over here instead of these short ones. Okay, and the other one will be placed over here. Alright, so now these 2 cables will act like a shunt. Let me just put it at the same length. Alright, so now that we've connected these 2 together, that will act like a shunted tombstone. Alright, and we said we need to put all 4 of them together. Alright, so that's gonna connect all 4 of them, and this would be the input. So all of that goes together on this side. So we have to be careful not to clamp the insulation. So yeah, this came off over here, but we'll deal with that later. Alright, so we're gonna shunt this one. So these could be a bit more shorter, but we're just gonna leave them as they are, like this. Okay, and we need an input. Alright, that doesn't, we'll deal with that later. Okay, so we got the inputs and all the tombstones together. We might hook this up over here since we have these hooks already mounted. Okay, so now we need the lamp, but first maybe we could connect the power cable again. So cable goes through the hole. Over here, okay. So one is neutral and the other one is live. And we have to be careful not to pinch the insulation over here because we have it pretty close to the end. Alright, I think we're good over there. So now this is also still an old fluorescent lamp which we have to remove. We do have a few hybrid lamps which are like a bit wider, and they receive 4 fluorescent tubes, so we have just converted the middle part for the 2 which use LED tubes, and the end 2 are still using the ballast and the other stuff for this old ones, so we will use those tubes as well. They are not gonna be thrown into garbage right away. But here we have to install the LEDs now that we've made connections for them, and this is actually double-sided lamp. All right. That's one. And now this is gonna be a bit more tricky because the tombstone came off, so the old lamp also came out without spinning. I'm in a bit of a pickle over here, so I'm gonna need something to turn the contacts up so I can insert the lamp. So I'm thinking maybe a wider screwdriver to turn it, because this tombstone is not so good. doesn't want to turn, so yeah. Old stuff. I think it got stuck. Alright, I think we're good, although this one will have to be replaced as well, but alright, so I think we're good. So now if everything's gonna if everything is connected the way it's supposed to be, we should be having a LED, functional LED. So let's see if that's gonna work. Should be working. There. So okay, so yeah, you see this is the bottom part of the lamp, and it should be turned facing down. But yeah, other than that we are good, and that's it. So yeah, pretty simple stuff if you know what you're doing. So yeah, if you do have an old lamp and you want to go you want to have cut some of your expenses on the electricity, because these are using I don't know, like a third or a fourth of energy that the ordinary fluorescent tubes are using. So yeah, this is a good way to go. All right, so that's it for this one.